Good evening, good morning, good night to wherever you're watching this transmission. 'Tis I, Mike Martins. Welcome to another very special and informative edition of Trends in the Housing Market. Remember, guys, we do not offer any financial advice or do not take advice from anybody. Don't trust anybody. Do your own research. Alex Murphy in the house already. First person I got one person in the comments and 0 people watching. Woo! Broadcasting from Merritt, British Columbia. Thank you, one. Thank you all for the hottest trends discussion housing channel probably that ever existed here. And I am your humble servant, Mike Martins. So what do we got going on today, guys? We got lots going on, and it's taxes. So Alex Murphy saying, did you hear taxes are going up in Westchester County, right? Oh, buddy, taxes are going up everywhere. I'm not kidding. I mean, taxes are really going to start hitting us really hard. And if you remember Star Wars Episode 1 and what happened, what sparked that huge war was taxation and embargoes. And remember what sparked the Boston Tea Party, the Great Revolution, right? Where the United States gained independence against the British yoke, right? Taxes, embargoes. Everyone rolling into the comment section. Yeah. Lots of love, guys. Sativa Shiva here. Alex Murphy here. Real Kevin Thompson always in the house. Lord Humongous Mike Martins in the house. Woo! Oh, yeah, baby. It's trends in the housing market. Belinda Lee Mercer in the house, and Alex Murphy, because Westchester has some of America's highest property taxes in the nation, especially Scarsdale. That's the town I live in. Wow. Okay, well, we're gonna look that up right now. Alex, can you put a link in the discussion there of one of the latest articles talking about that, and I'll open it here on the show and we'll read it. Yeah, okay, guys, before we kick off and before I plug my channel, I want to kind of thank, okay, so we got, this is pretty interesting, a group of real estate agents in Sweden that watch me all the time and work in real estate. Thanks for the information. Thanks for giving us a feedback on the English-speaking world. We were completely in the dark about what is happening. So there's a Swedish, they've been listening to me for 4 months now. They've been following trends in the housing market. And so there's a list of people that are in the office. So there's, okay, here goes, people. Hilda, Vilgat, Cleo, David, Adele, Ellis, Philippa, Ivar, Alvin, Joel, Penny, and Tilda, Ali, Samuel, Julie, Lo, and Elena, and Emmy, and Greta, who are watching me in Sweden. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching the channel and watching us in Sweden. So I wanted to call you guys out if you're watching this in the office. And I don't know what time it is there, but you're probably watching this on playback. Okay, guys. Woo! Oh, there's so much going on, man. This is people are like, housing show. How can you host a housing show every week and talk about the same things? Man, there's so much going on in the English-speaking world when it comes to housing, when it comes to the dynamics of the economies, how they're so closely linked. Not because we all speak English, and not because our countries are predominantly Christian. It's because it's just a pattern that's being staged. And I, in my humble opinion, and I have been saying this for a good while now, that Australia is the testing ground for this. I really believe in my heart of hearts that Australia is the testing ground of what's going to happen. If you guys missed last episode here of Mike in the Night, here it is, guys. It goes to my channel, and it's right here, Mike in the Night, when you open the channel. And here it is here. And here we are talking about the unloading of Big Brother in Australia. Darwin, Australia is unloading this Chinese technology where they're basically going to be tracking everybody. And it's really scary. But it's all happening in patterns. It kind of kicked off with housing at first, right? Was the big thing, and then then the whole money laundering patterns going around, and all the foreign investing happening in all the countries, empty homes everywhere in all the same countries. It's a very delicate pattern, but it's there if you look at everything. But one continent right now, the UK, okay, England, especially London, has been going down for the last 5 months. They've been going down for 5 months, for the last 2 years, 24, 30 months. They've been consecutive months. London has about 6 more quarters to go down of false asset growth. I call it false asset growth because a lot of these countries, like Australia, is one of the highest. I think they have 15 to 18 quarters to dial back all that growth that wasn't real, right? Canada has, depending, in Vancouver, you got about 14 quarters to dial back of growth. You got the UK is already 21 months of false growth, of retracted growth. So it's retarding the growth back. So I'm thinking it's going to keep bringing back, I don't know how many quarters, but I know in Ontario, it's stagnant and prices are going up in Ontario for some bizarre reason. So it's really bizarre what's happening. And unless people got a 72% increase in their pay, then I could see that happening. But I'm not too sure what's happening in Ontario. That's where we should get some people on the show in Ontario, Toronto area. Hopefully Steve's watching and can make the show tonight and give us a boots on the ground. Or even Mario DeSettis from the Lost Canuck. Okay, guys, what's going on, guys? So the channel, don't forget to check it out. Trends in the housing market, last week's show right here, The Perfect Storm, if you missed it. Canada's GDP needs money laundering. Oh, does it ever? You guys will never believe if you watch this story here. Canada's GDP needs money laundering. Zero down home loans. Oh, another fiasco in the making. Canadian dream is destroyed. Just like that. 5 years, 6 years, we destroyed our country. And it was more of a financial economic takeover. So Kevin Thompson is stating that prices are going through the roof. So we're going to find out right now what is happening in this unbalanced, unpredictable, unforeseeable market. No trends forecaster could figure that out, could figure out what the government had installed. I've been predicting a crash for years. Oh, Mike, but if you keep predicting it, it's going to happen. A clock's right 2 times a day. No, it's not the point. The point is the magic tricks that they're doing in this economy, these magic tricks and smoke and mirrors that are kind of misleading us into, okay, this is not right. We were taught in school how to do something, and we were trained in the finance how this works. Why are we going against everything we learned? Because this is going to deteriorate and damage the current population when people are tapping into their HELOCs to buy a snowmobile that they don't need. Okay, we got people. The comments are starting to go nice and fast here. All right, guys, here it is, guys. So, 10K subscribers once again. Guys, what we're going to do is we're going to do a 10K subscriber special thingy-wingy. And what's been happening has been very, very bizarre. I get weird subscriptions in bizarro increments, which is now, I think, is the new analytics thing with YouTube. I'm not sure what they're doing. So thank you again, everybody, for 10,000 subscribers. We've done this together. We did this together. Okay. Alex Murphy says, we need speculation tax here on a national level. It's not just for foreign investors. It's also for Wall Street firms like Blackstone, who bought all the homes up during the recession that they created. Yeah, of course. Yeah. They're hedging both sides of the bet so they can't lose. Right? Imagine hedging both sides of the bet and you never lose. You're always going to win, right? And that's a big problem, right? And it's not just speculation tax is one thing. Foreign buyers tax is much needed, but Washington State nailed the nail on the head. Start declaring where the money's coming from overseas. Boom! Overnight, Lights out. Nobody brought money into Washington State. Oh, I have to declare my money? Yeah, you're bringing in $2 million in a suitcase. Where did you get it from? Oh, so that's it. Washington State's in a crash mode right now. VK saying, somebody just tell me when it will fall. Getting tired of waiting. It's got nowhere to go but down unless they raise wages. What is it, 72%? They're not going to raise wages 72% across the board. That's the only way you're going to fix this. All right, Better Dwelling. First article. I need to cover this, guys. It's kind of important because they are saying, and Better Dwelling never lies. Better Dwelling is usually on the money when it comes to actual, transparency and truth. Unless they got bought out. I don't think Better Dwelling would get bought out. Cognitive Rue. I suggest everyone listen to a few of these podcasts. RE Housing Prices Bubble by an Aussie Mensa member. Sure. Good to have you guys on board. Okay, Better Dwelling are recovery or dead. Cat bounce? Canadian real estate sales rise unexpectedly? So if you guys know, it's horrendous here. Canadian real estate sales are stabilizing after last year's massive drop. Canadian Real Estate Association numbers show a large climb for sales volume in April. The increases come after months of negative growth, but may be more of a sign of stabilization. Last year's decline in sales was the largest in over a decade, so it was relatively easy beat. Real estate sales rise over 4%. Canadian real estate sales made a climb for multi-year low last year. CREA reported 48,461 sales in April, up 21% from the month before. This represents an increase of 4.2% when compared to the same month last year. For context, it's a 9.96% decline compared to April 2017. Most of the increase was a partial offset from the huge drop made last year. Over the past 5 years, April 2018 was the only month with fewer sales. So here it is, Canadian real estate sales. The adjusted sales for all home types reported through Canadian MLS. So January sales picked up and March sales picked up, 48,461. But where are these places being bought across Canada? You see, that's the thing. I know a lot of these places are being bought. I know where they're being bought. They're being bought in parts of Alberta, Quebec, Nova Scotia. People are Ottawa. Ottawa's on fire right now, and they're bringing up the sales average across the board. One interesting note to take is how big of a swing the annual pace of growth made last month. The 4.2% annual pace of growth in April was the highest since March 2018. That follows 15 months of negative numbers. April 2018 had made a largest annual decline for the month in over 10 years. The rise of the year appears to be largely normalization. Regardless, it's hard to discount the massive change in direction. Canadian real estate sales changed. The annual percentage of change adjusted sales of all home types reported through the Canadian MLS. So guys, remember, this is all of Canada, okay? It's adjusted, 4.2, yay! But our problem is, you got to remember, a lot of these homes are selling, like here in Merritt. A house can't stay here on the market more than 2 days or 4 days, depending on the quality of the house and what they're asking. Because there's some people here that have for sale signs up for 6 months, and they ask these absorbent, crazy. Lord Humongous is saying, hey, Mikey, how long is the drive from Seattle to Merritt? Oh, Christ. 1 hour, 2 hours to 2.5 hours to Vancouver, and then 2.5 hours from the border. So you're looking at a 5-hour drive, and you better have a passport to cross the border if you want to come visit me. No problem. You know where my shop is. Real Kevin Tops is any house will sell. So here it is. Hey, Lord, if you are in Seattle, you want to do a video thing for us and tell us what's going on down there. In Seattle, if you want to video Skype us with some scenery and tell us what's going on the ground there in Seattle, I'd like to know. Real estate markets with the biggest gains. Oh, you know what? Lord, if you could go by the airport, SeaTac. Apparently, there's a pile of 10 cities there. If you want to get over there and maybe get on the channel here. Yeah, I was watching the first and second quarter of the Toronto Raptors, and I was watching it with my dad. And yeah, Toronto's ripping things up. I couldn't breathe in Game 7. I'm going to get back to business here, but I couldn't breathe Game 7 against the 76ers. That fourth quarter was unbearable. I had troubles breathing because it was so intense. Okay, anyways, guys, let's get back to this. All right. Canadian real estate markets with the biggest gains showed big drops last year. Niagara is reporting the biggest growth. There you go, Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls is an hour and 20 minutes from Toronto. So I'm telling you, it's these suburban areas, very suburban, out in the sticks areas. April, 22.7% from last year. Niagara experienced a 15.4% decline compared to the year before. Toronto sales came in at 9,042 last month, up 16% compared to the year before. In 2018, Toronto real estate sales have fallen 22.3% from the year before that one. One exception would be Quebec City in third, 908 sales in April, up 12.21%. So let's go over here. This is where it's at. So right now, here we go. 2017 sales were just absolute madness. That's when everything was on fire. Then you go into 2018, we're dropped, and then 2019, where we're at right now. So you're seeing crawlbacks, but if you bought in April of 2017, you're still underwater quite a bit, actually. Montreal, here we go. Montreal is I would say up there it's in second place, but I would say would overtake Toronto slowly. There's too many people leaving Toronto right now. Toronto is experiencing a mass exodus of people, mass exodus, and Toronto's bringing in more foreign students to come in. Vancouver, oh, look at Vancouver. Look at this year over year. Look at that, 17, 18, 19. Wow. Calgary, not too good. Fraser Valley. The only ones that I see making a nice, Quebec as a whole, Kitchener-Waterloo, it's all kind of But look at Toronto in 2017. Holy max. And then look at Vancouver. It's like nothing on this map. Where is it? Oh, Vancouver girl. There it is. It's really, really in the depths right now. So all these other little, like Halifax, Quebec, Windsor, Niagara, especially Niagara Falls, and Winnipeg, London, they're all contributing, Edmonton, Ottawa, they're all contributing to stronger sales across the board. Toronto's the only one that's experiencing some sort of abnormality in buying, unless everyone got a 76% raise or something. My sister says Seattle's a toilet, she doesn't go there anymore. That's Lord Humongous. They call it Walking Dead in Seattle. British Columbia real estate keeps falling. British Columbian real estate markets bucked the trend, printing big drops for a second year. Vancouver real estate had the biggest declines in Canada with 1,850 sales in April, down 29.7% from last year. Vancouver had also seen sales decline 48.9% last year when compared to the year before. Fraser Valley had a second largest drop with 1,308 sales in April, down 18.9%. So here's the changes. Look at Niagara Falls leading the pack. So it's bringing up the whole average across the country, right? Toronto's up there, Quebec is up there, Montreal is Windsor, but most importantly, look at Vancouver. It's the worst of all. But why is Toronto trending higher? Well, we got to start finding out these patterns. Okay, guys, let's go back to the comments. We got Briggs in the house. We got Lord Humongous, who's in Seattle right now. We got Kevin Thompson, of course. Rocha de Creator da Silva in the house. And he's saying, I cannot commit $1 million to a mortgage. Hey, hello? Why would you do that? Briggs is saying, how about a trade war? And VK saying, real Kevin Thompson, you take a 2-hour ride for any major health issues. Right for any major health issues. Belinda saying, trade war, interest rates drop. It's pronounced Richa. Oh, Richa. I thought it was Rocha. Oh, okay. It's Richa. Sorry, man. Okay, Lord Humongous is saying, I'm still in Denver, Mikey. Oh, you didn't get arrested? Okay, he's in Denver. Okay, he'll be there by the end of the month. Okay, good to know. Here we go, guys. So here's the change. Canadian real estate change by market. So again, look at this. These ones are bringing down. So you got Vancouver and Victoria and the Fraser Valley. And that goes to show how overpriced British Columbia is. Holy smokes. Look at this, guys. This is Victoria, Fraser Valley, and Vancouver. They're all in the province of British Columbia. Fraser Valley is the huge section from where I am at. It starts where I am, and it goes all the way down to where the coast is, the Fraser Valley, right? Then you got the Okanagan, which goes like this way of me, east of me. Canadian real estate sales bounced to a large decline in the country's largest markets last year. Large and rapid declines are usually followed by quick bounce higher. British Columbian markets are big exceptions this year, which are compounding lower. On the upside, it's difficult to drop even further without a decline in the regional economy. So that's Better Dwelling, and I trust Better Dwelling. I mean, I trust them very much when it comes to giving us this information, right? But this one is really good, guys. Guys, go to my channel. You'll see it after my show. Canada would be in a recession without money laundering. Holy max. So okay, let's go tit for tat. So we got this huge housing market, and then now in Toronto, prices are going up. But $200 billion of that market is laundered into real estate. $200 billion. Not dollars, not pesos. Even 200 billion pesos, that's still lots of money. So, not good, not liking that. And then, this is the one I covered yesterday. Letter. We may have to leave Richmond because of taxes. So, property taxes in some areas in Richmond, British Columbia. 50% hike, 45% hike, 43% hike, 42% hike. These people are not liking this, and it is crippling. Why? Property prices go down. Government wants to collect the same property tax money that they did on these multi-million-dollar bungalows. So they're going to have to, what did they do? Increase property tax to flip the city's liabilities. China's empty homes may prove bigger threat than Donald Trump's tariffs. So we all know what's happening with China's empty homes, and we get it. We know it's just a bubble that was just composed, and a lot of these condos that are built are not even made to be lived in. They're just built for the sake of having them, and people have that asset in their portfolio. You know what I'm saying? And I want to send a shout out to my guests that came to visit me today in the store. Oops, I spit some water on my shirt. I had some guests today visit me in the show. Visit me at the shop, today. Some pretty cool guys came to visit me. This guy's doing really well. They're both doing really well. And they bought their real estate at the right times. And in Hawaii and all kinds of places. So I'm going to work on trying to get more of these visitor videos. Because I get a lot of people visit. And it's nice to get people on the, get people out there, you know. So China's empty homes may prove a bigger threat than Donald Trump's tariffs. Build it and they will come. That is the philosophy underpinning the modern Chinese urban fields of dreams. In some senses, they have and do come, but they are not residents or businesses. In many of China's gleaming new towers, they are investors, speculators, betting that the property values will go up as China's population moves indefinitely in just one direction, from country to city. But no one's living in these buildings. It's been good bet for a long time, but analysts warn, like all good things, one day it must come to an end. According to the recent analysis from Citi's China economics team, that day is coming, but not for a while. We remain cautious. Sustainability of positive GDP contribution by China's property sector. We're going into a trade war, embargoes, all kinds of crap happening. And now with China not being allowed to buy oil from Iran. So here is their property vacancy remains an Achilles heel of China's property market sustainably. This is what City noted. So natural vacancy ratio, what does that mean? And then you got, okay, they got them in tiers. Tier 1, Tier 2. I got it here. So you got natural vacancy ratio. Then you got 2017, 2015. Okay, so they're just breaking it down by year there and showing you. But I don't... Yeah, okay, I'm getting what this is trying to tell me here. So, is it sustainable? Of course it's not sustainable. With an estimated 21.4% of dwellings vacant at the end of 2017, China now has as much as 6.4 billion square meters of empty real estate floor space. So here it is. This is a good one. This is why I brought up this article. Even relative to China's population, 1.4 billion, 80 million is a lot of empty homes, more than any other country, city looked at, except for the recession-ravaged economies of Spain and Italy. So you got Spain here, Italy. So this is what they say. It's empty, empty, empty. The highly vacancy ratio suggests the future properties investment is bound to decline as the property market may have entered into a state of oversupply. Oh, it's been in a state of oversupply for the last million years in China. Oh my God. Okay, what else we got going on here in the comments? They are beating the war drums. Oh yeah, they sure are. Nice false flag attempts by Saudi Arabia. And then Quarknock says, I can't wait to be able to buy a few houses when this crap crashes. Definitely a false flag, someone said. And then Real Kevin Thompson says, Bitcoin is a new Chinese dollar. Then we got Reach Da Silva saying, China printing money, lowering value and interest rates. Yuan is getting ricketed. Yeah, the yuan's taking a beating right now, even against the New Zealand dollar. So they're having a pretty tough time. I was reading that article earlier today. So China's in a bit of hot water. They're always going to fudge the numbers. Okay, it's a communist country. Do you honestly think they're going to tell you what's really happening in their country economically? Give me a break. Everything here is like 50 times underrated. 50 times worse than what we're seeing here. Just multiply everything I said about China's empty homes by 50. Move on. So this is happening in Richmond, British Columbia. Birth tourism is on the rise. Birth tourism is births by non-resident BC increased by 24% from 26 to 2017 fiscal year. 2017-2018 from 676 babies to 837 following year, according to records obtained through Freedom of Information requests. So a lot of people are coming in from wealthy investors are coming in, and babies are born in Canada, and then they're given citizenship, and the family is given automatic citizenship and everything. And that's what a lot of people are doing now, and they're having birth tourism. Birth tourism is wrong to only have a kid just to get citizenship in a country. I don't know why they're like. I guess nothing is just, Luxury home prices hit by longest slump in decades. So in the UK, and then watch this. Metro Vancouver's luxury housing market is now a buyer's market. We just read that it's in the biggest decline. And then now we got these guys saying that it's the best. It's the buyer's market. But who's buying these properties? A new report released today by Engel and Volkers has determined that the housing market in Metro Vancouver has transitioned into a buyer's market, particularly for luxury housing. Based on industry data, overall sales in the region March dipped 46.3% below the 10-year sales of average for a month, which appears to be the lowest since 1986. Conversely, the total number of listings in April. Okay, who cares? I just want to see here. We're seeing millennial buyers apply for mortgages. What are these millennials doing to buy multi-million-dollar mansions? Well, they're not mansions. They're just multi-million-dollar, like, two-story homes with 5 bedrooms. And the closet is considered a bedroom because you could fit a mattress in it. But struggling to secure them due to the mortgage stress test. Some are finding their way around the test limitations by turning to families and financial assistance. Here we go. Yeah, is this true? Is this fake news, guys? Let me know. Metro Vancouver's luxury housing market is now a buyer's market with property taxes going up and wages getting cut. I mean, who's working? It's got to be like one. It's got to be a private sector worker. There's no public sector jobs unless you're a politician that pay that much, right? Lola Scratcher in the comments saying that Bitcoin's back. Australian dollar plunges to its low 69.4 cents US. Remember, the reason why we're covering the Australian dollar on the show is because Australia doesn't want to raise interest rates. So the only way to hedge against inflation is a nice strong dollar, right? And yeah, I guess they don't really want to do that, I guess. They didn't want to upset all the people that bought when they shouldn't have bought at the top, and now they can't afford a $10 or $20 or $50 a month hike in their mortgage payments because they're so stretched out. Mark Andre Moses is saying, if you don't want to pay a lot of taxes, you need to move to Alberta. That's true. A lot of British Columbia companies have moved right across the border into Alberta. Right across, just literally a stone throw away from the border, and they're paying less taxes. Okay, and Richa saying, to hedge inflation, you have to lower taxes. Oh, you have to lower taxes too, but you also have to raise interest rates like you really need. Ooh, Danny Stevens is moving to PEI. Maybe we should get Danny Stevens on the show. If you want to add me on Skype, Danny, you could get Skype for your smartphone here, and you could just call me up. My Skype is Mike Martins 1980. I want to hear people moving to rural and small towns, Prince Edward Island. Are you moving to Fredericton, Danny? So, Cognitive Rue is saying mortgage stress is in Australia is now 30% of all mortgage holders, over 1 million households. Wow. Okay. Australian dollar has fallen through a key level as global economy stumbles. The dollar is now just worth 69.4 cents US cents. Remember like 8 years ago when they were at par? Following the news that President Donald Trump trade war is sprawling into new dangerous phase. Oh, man. Look at that. The 70-cent level is a crucial one after the Australian for the Australian dollar. The dollar fell below that level for about 9 months during the GFC. But okay, hold on a sec, guys. Just hold back just 1 second. It's good to have a weak dollar because it improves exports. But the problem is with Australia, a lot of their mines and a lot of their resource companies are China-owned. So Australia isn't exporting they are exporting their own stuff, but they're not exporting enough of their own stuff because a lot of it is China-owned. So this would be good for Australia in a way, in a strategic way, to export more ore or lithium ion or whatever they got going on in Australia for mining. Okay? And their dollar gets weakened, but softens their dollar, but they could export more. But it's not the Australian proper that's exporting more anymore because most of it's China-owned. So it's kind of like, how do they get out of this? You know what I'm saying? Okay, but that's BS. I remember that we bounced back so quick that dollar was worth more than the US for several months. Gold, everyone's saying. Mike, is my stack of 1,000 ounces of silver bars worth anything? See, the problem is it would be worth something if we go into a massive inflationary period and they're going to have to introduce quantitative easing, and if they have to close the markets. If they stop trading, they halt trading, they halt it, trading halts, and then they go in and you start seeing gold spike and silver spike through the roof. And then you're going to start seeing gold dealers not trading or not selling anymore. Their gold, they're holding onto the reserves. Anon says all auxiliary currencies will fall weaker, giving the strength of the US dollar. No, Anon, okay, please hear me out. The American dollar isn't getting stronger. It's not. It's every other currency is falling to it. That's all that's happening. The American dollar, hey, we're going up, guys. Look at Australia, it's falling behind. No, it's this. America's here. It's not moving. And everybody else is doing this. So you guys need to keep that in mind. It's not the fact that American dollar is getting stronger. It's the simple fact that every other country is falling to the American dollar. So America's managed to kind of stabilize like this. Okay, they're floating. They're just floating right now. But Australia's doing this. It's not Australia's here and America's doing this. No, Australia is doing this. So is Canada. Everybody's doing this right now. So gold is expensive for me. New Zealand dollar has dropped. Yikes. Yeah, I agree. Federal Reserve note. A lot of rich people moving their money into crypto. A lot of people are going to long Bitcoin. Well, that's what people feel, right? We should do another Bitcoin show, even though it's been there, done it, and it's old. But maybe we should get some Bitcoin experts on the show giving us. I had a couple of experts. I'm gonna touch base with them. Yeah, we're gonna be checking out what's going on with that, because that's very important. A lower dollar could mean good news. Okay, yeah, see, like if Australian dollar goes down, it's good, but what does Australia really have that it owns that it could export that's not China owned? That's the problem, right? Imagine you were an Australian company that exports. Last week when you sold something at 71 cents US, you got $1 Australian dollar. Now, when you sell something for 71 cents US, you get more than $1. A lower dollar translates into free money. That's exactly what I was just saying, right? But the problem is, you get me, right, guys, where I'm coming with this? In this way, a lower Australian dollar makes Australian exporting companies better off. And at the moment, we have a lot of exporting companies. Australia is currently in big trade surplus with the rest of the world, and the next chart shows. There's the trade balance, and this is monthly seasonal adjusted. So, okay, here we go. And this is it here. Is this in billions or trillions? Oh, it's in millions. Okay. So, monthly seasonally adjusted. So, you're seeing it take a little dip here. You got your elephant trunk here. If we work in agriculture or mining, tourism, or education, you're part of the exporting sector, selling goods and services to foreigners. When the dollar falls, Australian goods get more competitive overseas, and Australian exporting companies can either cut prices to sell more or sell at the same amount and make more profit. But here's the problem. What does Australia own anymore in their own country that they could export? That's the key, right? All the minerals, I know that from talking to some CEOs there in Perth, have been telling me that a lot of the stuff is owned by foreign ownership. It's not the Australian proper. Sorry, my neighbor just started his van. His muffler fell off the other day, so it sounds like it's got headers on it. It's a 1982 custom GMC van, kind of like the 18 one, but the muffler fell off. Okay, someone needs to compress these economies of both countries will suffer. Trump thinks he has the upper hand, but in a year's time, he has to start worrying about getting reelected. If China decides not to compromise, those words will come back to haunt him. And the problem in global trade could continue for a long time. If that's the case, the Australian dollar could even go lower than 70 cents US, and it could seem like a distant memory. Yeah, you guys hear my neighbor's van? It's got headers on it. All right, let's move on. Homeless people in the UK denied social housing as risky tenants. So it's really hard when the UK is not taking care of their own. It's very heartbreaking. Housing associations have come under fire for routinely refusing to house homeless people nominated for empty social housing properties, on the grounds that welfare cuts make the poorest prospective tenants too much of a financial risk. Well, why don't they do it like in the States or something, like where they just the money goes automatically to the landlord, and then or the person that's registered for this, the owner that's registered for this, and then they just get the money directly from the government, and then the rest of the money goes for food. I don't know how it works, but I mean, there's ways around this. So this affordability issues in London is out of control. I don't know what they're going to do, because right now Ireland's in a hoop of problems with pushing 12,000 homeless and 3,000 are children. The West Australian stores to close. Huge discount sales starts in West Australia's transit clothing calls in administrators. So here it is, people. Look at that, 70% off store wide. West Australia's increasingly tough retail climate has claimed another victim with the collapse of the 9-store transit clothing fashion chain. So there's another one. In stores employing 45 people are located in major shopping centres across Perth and South and Western Australia. The chain will continue to trade, but administrators are closing 4 stores over the next 4 days to relieve financial pressure on the business. The retailer had 18 stores in its height of 2011. This hurts, guys. This hurts because you're going to start seeing once more and more of the private sector gets cut off, it's going to be hard to fund the public. When more and more of the private sector gets cut off, yeah, it's going to be hard to fund public sector jobs. Johnny Parker saying, I was liberal, no more. Sammy Roy in the house. Then we got... everyone's still talking about Bitcoin like crazy in the comments. So another retail store hitting the wall. Owner-occupied investor home loan lending could plummet again. Declines of number owned occupiers and investors have seen Australian home loan lending continue to plummet. So nobody is lending out for people buying to rent out. Value of home loan approvals, and it's just going to go down. This one's not too bad. Owner-occupiers, first-time home buyers, that one's ticking up a bit, but everything else looks like it's really taking a dive. So that's another one to look at. Look at this in billions here. Wow, down 2.17%, or at 2.1. Is it? No, it's down 0.21%. Set with 2.17% billion. Wow, 2.17 billion. Christ, man, I can't read. This one's another one from Australia. Brisbane's worst house. It's so unbelievable. No buyers are allowed inside. Oh, don't you worry. This thing will sell for $2 million. You just put it on the home shopping network in Australia. This thing will sell for $2 million. It's missing a few walls, but hey, you know what? This is $2 million. Oh, that's cute. Look at that. There's no insulation. Why is there no insulation in that wall? You got the brick outside, but where's the vapor barrier? Okay, usually in Canada, what we do is we got that wall there, right? And then we have the plywood on one side, the plywood on this side, and then we have the insulation foam inside, and then we have the vapor barrier, the plastic, and then we put the drywall on top of that. This looks pretty bad. Wow, look at that kitchen. It's cute. Oh, this one's nice. Don't worry, this is like $2 million. Cash money. See, and I've been preaching this. Who in their minds will, like, unless you need to clean money. It's very simple. I need someone in Australia that's got the cojones to get into the money laundering scene and finding out what's going on with money laundering in Australia. I very, very highly doubt that $200 billion was just laundered through Canada. Just Canada only. I highly doubt that. The plank is going to snap. In the comments there, Johnny Parker, no one is poor. I am rich, but my heart. You got a private mud driveway? Yeah! Real Kevin Thompson saying 99 viewers. New Zealand housing. I wish I was rich. You know what, guys? It's not about being rich. Because you could only wear one pair of shoes at one time. You could only wear one set of clothing one time. Like, not once in your life, I mean. Like, you could only be wearing one set of clothing once. You can't wear two sets of clothing at the same time. You can't be in two places at the same time. So you're here now. Focus on your dreams. Focus on everything. You can't be at two places at once. If there was a way to multiply yourself in your filthy rich and you could be at 30 places in once, fine. But that's not the case. You could only be at one place at one time. You could only wear one set of clothing once, not one time in your life, but have a set of clothing on at a time and one pair of shoes at a time. You can't wear two pairs of shoes at the same time. So being rich is not all that. You know? And we got Supreme Cannon logging in here. And Johnny Parker says, Mike, you are right. I am kind of rich, but I am not happy. So, cognitive Rube, diversity is the key. Actual production of a required commodity. It is what will help you survive and thrive. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I've done things, you know, I've always had multiple streams of income. I never had one stream of income. I've never depended on one stream of income. And when one stream of income fizzles, I find another one to make, you know, to add. I think the average person should have four streams of income. And I'm not saying working 4 jobs. I'm saying maybe working one job and then selling stuff on eBay and then maybe have a YouTube channel. So you see how I do it, right? And then get some dividends back on your stocks, right? Once you have several streams of income and then one starts to fall apart or starts to look bad, just jump ship, move on, get another stream of income, you know? They don't all have to be big streams. They get little micro streams here and then it all starts adding up in the end, you know? Elizabeth saying, don't think I will ever have my house. Is that about, you know what the thing is? They're trying to roll out this whole European thing in Canada where they're trying to roll out this whole European thing where, you know, in Europe, a lot of people just rent. They don't care about owning. Why are Canadians so fixated on owning a home? So now they're trying to take the American/Canadian Western dream of home ownership off the table. And I noticed that they've been trying to push that narrative now. Just rent. Why do you want to own a home for? Why do you want assets? You know what I'm saying? And they're pushing that narrative now here in the West, here, especially in Canada. It's a couple of articles. Why are Canadians so fixated on owning homes? Well, it's our thing. I'm European, you know what I'm saying? But in Europe, like 30-40% of the people just rent. They don't want to deal with owning home ownership, right? But when you are in a situation where I've rented before in Vancouver, I didn't want to spend $2 million on a detached bungalow that was built in 1910. So I rented. And let me tell you, you can't do nothing. You can't do what you want with your place. You can't fix it or paint it the way you want. You can't, they just don't allow you to do what you want to do with, you know what I'm saying? Then Reach De Silva saying owning a home became a liability. See, owning a home, depending on what age you're at, does become a handicap. For me, I'm still 41. It's okay. I'm raising my kids. We're growing up, and they have a house they could call home. We're here, right? And I want my kids to remember their childhood, not moving around to city, and actually rooting and laying roots, making friends, lifelong friends, the whole 9 yards, right? That stuff is priceless. That stuff you can't put a price on, right? So it's very important for me that I did this for my family. Very crucially important. That's why I live 2.5 hours out of a major city. I just can't live in a major city. I can't do it anymore. Maybe I'm an old fart. Maybe when you get to 40, you're just done with cities. I don't know. I'm done with the city. I'm not dealing with the overly just the amount of stress it's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Buy old companies, Baytex Precision Drilling. They're on sale half price. I own a lot of Baytex stock too. Yeah, Metal Gear saying, I'm done with city traffic. Why? Why are you going to spend 8% of your life in traffic? There's some people that spend 13% of their lives in traffic. And those are not truck drivers. I'm talking about people commuting to work. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Toronto City Council approves the 2019 budget, 2.55% property tax hike. Now, I don't know if you guys know, for people living in the English-speaking world, you want to hear this, because this is phenomenal. My mom pays $8,000 a year for property tax. I know your ears probably don't believe what you're hearing, but my mom pays $8,000 a year. It's $8,800, I think, for property tax. And now in the GTA and the Toronto city, it's going to go up another 2.55%. As the price of housing declines, they're going to have to keep raising property taxes to hedge against that income to flip the cities and counties and boroughs' liabilities. They got to pay for your hospitals. They got to pay for your firefighters. They got to pay for everything. Teachers, nurses. And we keep losing nurses because they can't afford to live. We keep losing doctors. They can't afford to live in this anymore. So Toronto City Council has voted Thursday to approve the 2019 budget, which includes 2.55% residential property tax hike. The property tax hike is actually 3.58% when other adjustments are factored in, such as the City Building Fund, which is intended to support infrastructure projects such as transit and housing. This is very heartbreaking for people that are just... City staff residents who have a home assessed average at $665,000 will pay $104 more than 2018 in property taxes. It's a lot of money, guys. My mom's paying $7 large right now in property tax. 8,800, I think it was. I'm gonna ask her when I go up because my parents are visiting. Okay, so what else? Hold on, I'm not done. I have a friend, okay, who lives... Where does he live? Just outside of Toronto in a city called Oakville. And he's paying $16,000 a year in property tax. And he's had his house in the market now for over a year now. He can't sell it. But he bought it in 1986. So anything he makes off the house is his. But he's dropped his prices 6 times already. And he just can't. Yeah, 16,000. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh yeah. He is a millionaire? Nope. Working guy. He bought his house in 86 or 87. He was working in the nursery, like where they plant trees, like a landscaper in the nursery there in Oakville, Ontario. And with the flowers and stuff, and he worked there, and he started from the bottom and worked his way up, and he bought his house. I think he bought it for $66,000. The same house he's in, and sorry, I think it was 84. He bought the house. I gotta talk to him. It was 86. He paid under $100,000 for it, I remember, but it had a big lot though, and the house was kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like it needed a lot of work, and it still does need a lot of work, but he's got a big lot though, and now he's trying to. It was under $100K. Now he's trying to sell it, I think, for 1.7 or $2 million. And he's below market price that what that area is supposedly selling for. But he's paying like a lot of money, 16 large a year in property tax. His kids are all done college, all finished, everybody's moved on. And his wife passed away. When was it? Like 2 years ago. And he told me like it's time for him to retire and find family to move in with and just live off his savings and just travel and have a place he can call home with family, right? Just in case he needs to get back, right? But okay. So Kevin Thompson's undone. This is in fourth line, if everyone's wondering. He's got this really great property, and all he talks about is the same crap. It's good to be a landlord these days. I keep raising rents. And, well, it is good if you're on the financial, but a lot of landlords are taking a negative position. In Vancouver, woo! In Vancouver, they're taking a huge negative position right now on rentals. People that bought to rent, you got your strata fee. We're going to raise the strata fee. You know those people paying $700 to $1,000 a month in strata fees? Then they got their mortgages. Then they got all this other Mickey Mouse stuff to pay. A lot of people. Okay. Richa De Silva is right. Has to refinance to pay property taxes. Yes. It's been happening. It was in the first story I brought up. There's people that are using the equity in their homes to not to refinance through the bank. The government's doing this thing where they own, but before you know it, they own most of your house, basically, is what's going to happen, right? I really want to bring that article back because the guy was saying within 20 years from now, the government will own a good majority of my household value from paying the property taxes. I'm not kidding you. It said it in the article. It's in this story here if you guys want to watch it. Got to go to my videos. They're not all listing on my carousel here. Got to visit people. This one right here. Property tax. This one right here. Property tax. Attention. More property tax hikes on the way. Let me see if I can get the screenshot of where it says it. Fast forward here. And it talks about how the government will own a portion of the house. It is annual property tax has gone up 10% this year, and that puts us beyond provincial grants reductions of seniors grants modest 44-year-old home. These payable increases just seem like another government tax grab. The bank only gives us 0.8% on our money. Our monthly OAS pension increased 60 cents. So the pension went up 60 cents, but property taxes through the roof. These financial adjustments together with all other discrete tax and fee increases makes you wonder if the government's tax department is hell-bent on squeezing seniors to a tipping point. He does mention there that the government is going to own most of our house by the time we pass on or something. Oh, here it is. Here it is, guys. It's right here in the article. This makes the annual tax owing backlog on. So, Buddy brought this up in the comments where people are refinancing to pay property taxes. And this is really happening, okay? That's how bent out of shape a lot of these people are. And a lot of them are seniors because their pensions aren't covering nothing, right? This makes the annual tax backlog and the compounded interest amounts accelerate rapidly, and the provincial government will soon own a big chunk of our home. That right there is scary. You don't have to watch the end of the world channels and doom and gloom channels and we're going to war channels. That what I just read to you is crippling. That, oh, you can't pay your property tax? Oh, we'll just take the equity out of your home. You'll be fine. Go continue living in your home. And the governments will be owning a chunk of the home. Yeah. That was in yesterday's video, property tax hikes, on my channel here. But let's move on. So, raising property taxes in Toronto. So, like I said, my mom's paying like $8,000. I think it's $8,800 a year in property tax. So, it's crippling. Vancouver looming 5% property tax hike. More evidence of funding reforms needed. Again, Vancouver 5% property tax hike. Why? Prices of homes are dropping. The government isn't making money on what it used to be. So, prices are so high. Property taxes are so low. Why? $2 million bungalow? I keep property taxes real low. Property prices come down. Let's raise property taxes because we can't afford to flip our budget and our deficits in the city. We got to keep our nurses. So what did they? The middle class working poor that's working their butts off get taxed more on their wages and property taxes go up. There's no other way. There's no other way to do it. Kevin Thompson has a good point. You need to save and become the lender. Briggs is saying Bitcoin lifeboat. Anon's saying Wayne Glue is his name. You guys need to keep stacking. He means by silver and gold. CGA, Mike, I need to call in next week and talk about the credit card debts and strategy. Sure, man, no problem. Remember, guys, we do not give financial advice. We just give discussion pieces here. You do not want to take financial advice from a guy like myself that can't read. So you want to just do this on your own. Like, it's the barber theory, right? When I used to have hair, I would go to a barber to cut my hair because that's his job, and I put full confidence in my barber. Here's my $20, cut my hair. Because it's your job, you know what you're doing. But nowadays, trusting your real estate agent, trusting your broker, trusting your bank, no way. You know, no way, Jose. No way, Jose. You do your own, because you're all, well, the bank's there to help me. These people are this is their jobs. They're here to help. My broker's there to help me. My bank is there to help me. My real estate agent is there to, no, they're there to make your money. They couldn't care less what they give you. They couldn't care less whether it's helping you or not. They want to make those commissions, and they want to make sure they make it off your back. You do your own research. And we're just here giving a talking points so that we could unravel some of the things that are happening here, right? I don't believe in post-dictions here. I believe in predictions. Post-dicting, anyone could post-dict. 90% of all the YouTube channels are there is all post-diction. Did you see what happened today in the markets? No. Why don't you tell us what's going to happen today in the markets 3 months ago so we could prepare for it, right? So there's too much post-diction out there. Nobody cares about post-dictions. James West has it right. Nobody is going to help you. So Kevin Thompson in the comments, leading the charge as usual. So is Lord Humongous, Belinda, everyone contributing. Again, 4.9%. Look at this guy. Vancouver Mayor Kennedy Stewart says he'll support the increases, arguing that for most homeowners it will be between $40 to $100 extra a year. Yeah, but what are they paying now? Look at this. Holy smokes. Holy crap. Property tax, city budgets. So property taxes obviously went down because the price of housing went through the roof all these years. And then now the property prices are going down. So you could look at the historicals of Vancouver. In 2009, property prices were pretty low. That's why property taxes are high. You see this graph, how it works? So property values go down, property taxes go up. So either way, you're paying. And let's see what's happening here. Johnny Parker saying it's not our news. Oh, I'm hitting up every country tonight. Here it is, Oak Bay. Sook News Mirror, Oak Bay hikes property tax 7.34%. Someone sent me this today. Where the hell is Oak Bay? I have no idea where Oak Bay is. Anyone in the comments could tell me where Oak Bay is? Anybody? So property tax is up 7.34%. Property owners in Oak Bay are facing the steepest property tax hike in the region. Oak Bay Council approved on Monday an average increase of 7.34% in adopting the 2019-2023 financial plan. Another one. Let's move on. Property taxes, utilities up 3.7% in Port Coquitlam. Property owners in Port Coquitlam should get ready for a 3.47% lift in municipal taxes and utilities this year. Man, single-family home is assessed at $990,000. This is for a bungalow, guys. This is nothing spectacular. So combined $39 or more. Townhouse is assessed at $710,112.87 more. An apartment assessed at $465 for one bedroom there, by the way. $105 or more. Let's move on. And then West Van's getting hit pretty hard. West Vancouver, 4.78%. You know how much a condo costs in West Vancouver? $1 million. West Vancouver, 4.78% tax hike will help save for a rainy day, but at least one councillor thinks it should be readying for the flood. So they won't even want to raise taxes even higher in these places. 3.2% property tax hike for the next 4 years in London. UK home sales flatline in March. Again, UK guys, I'm telling you guys, the United Kingdom is leading the pack with declines. 20 months in a row, 25 months in a row, 30 months in a row of ongoing declines. The UK is going to be approaching correction in about 6 to 8 quarters. In about 8 quarters, the UK should be in line with wages, with wages. So, yeah. So we got a link here in the comment section. Let's open her up and see what it is. The growing Ponzi scheme. Most American cities find themselves caught in the growth of a Ponzi scheme. We experience a modest short-term illusion of wealth in exchange for enormous long-term liabilities. We deprive our commodities of prosperity, overload our families with debt, and become trapped in a spiral of decline. This cannot continue. Well, the black swan's going to come in anytime soon and start to rattle our cages, if you know what I'm saying. We often forget about the American pattern of suburban development is an experiment, and one of that has never been tried anywhere before. We assume it is a natural order because it is what we all see around us, but our own history, let alone the tour of other parts of the world, reveal a different reality across cultures. Over thousands of years, people have traditionally built places scaled to the individual. It is only in the last 2 generations that we have scaled places to the automobile. How is this experiment working? So let's go. Transfer of payment between governments, transportation spending, public and private sector debt. Over a life cycle, a city frequently receives just a dime or two of revenue for each dollar of liability. Yeah, so how are they going to start funding these pensions? You know, there's a lot going on here that we're not even touching on. You know what I'm saying? If Kiwis start to worry about their jobs, well-being will be front of mind. So this is what's happening right now in New Zealand. New Zealand has been going through this, but they banned foreign home ownership.
Today, Cabinet signed off on the 2019 wellbeing budget. Budget 2019 will continue to show that the government is maintaining a strong focus on the economy and running the books responsibly in the face of slowing global growth. As well as being prudent economic managers, we are going further by tackling long-term challenges and, of course, as we've indicated in our budget priorities, looking to break the cycle on issues like mental health, domestic violence and child poverty. We're focusing on the health of our environment and transitioning to a sustainable low emissions economy.
It's New Zealand. I think they're low emission.
What we've signed off is a culmination of months of wellbeing work by officials and ministers working across portfolios for better outcomes. It is a new approach to the development of a budget, which is about creating a New Zealand current and future generations can be proud of. Obviously, you'll need to wait until...
God bless New Zealand. Let's move on. Someone sent me this article. Boomers are facing a financial crisis. So Tyler's saying, Mike, the point of that series, That growth Ponzi scheme is cities do not take enough taxes in, and instead of allowing building to get immediate cash while not paying off the debt, it's like a minimum payment. Yeah, I covered that in Chicago. We were doing a whole Chicago thing on how Chicago has 4 or 5 layers of government with billions of dollars in pensions that are owed, and everyone's leaving Illinois. So it's really hard to fund these pensions when there's no more taxpayers in those states paying them. So, and like this article was saying, that people are over leveraging themselves and not really having tangible assets because they don't really own them because they don't pay them off, right? Boomers are facing a financial crisis. Oh yeah. I love these commercials. I remember seeing these commercials at like 3 a.m. The TV would go on. Are you over 85? Are you over 65? Do you own your home? Well, we got the freedom for you. If you own your house, then we could help you. Just sign right here and we could get you an allowance every month to enjoy playing golf and going out and living the good life. You know, how many people do you think ended up in the poorhouse with stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? Let me drink from Old Red here. Oh, man. Boomers are facing a financial crisis. There is a crisis brewing in America which will affect more Americans than subprime crisis in 2008. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. For years, Wall Street espoused the myth of compound average returns. Yeah, but they're not factoring in stock buybacks that are, yeah, they should even things out when they're explaining these points, right? A report from a nonprofit National Institute of Retirement Security found that nearly 60% of working age Americans do not own assets in retirement accounts. This idea was discussed in more depth with members of private investing community, Real Investment Advice. There is a crisis brewing in America, which will affect more Americans than the subprime crisis in 2008. What is it? It's the pension and retirement crisis. Yeah. So we covered this in the show. Let me see what show this was, if you guys want to follow up on it. It was something about America's pensions going to zero. It's a pretty good one too, actually. There's Australian delinquencies. Let's see if I could find that. Banks running out of liquidity. Where to go? I want to show you guys the video, so if you guys want to catch it, if you want to watch it later, it's a great video. I don't know where it is. It's in here somewhere. But it's a good video, guys. You should check it out. It discusses how what's happening with the pension crisis and baby boomers and funding these pensions. So if these baby boomers don't get a pension and they don't own assets, this is all I have to say. Como the Padre, Filho y Espíritu Santiago. That's it. Because we're in a lot of trouble right now. Okay. Oh man. So guys, don't forget to join me Saturday night, guys. Please, Mike in the Night. Open mic. I want people to call in. It's going to be fully open mic this Saturday night. Tell us your opinions on what's happening. It's got to be PG. We got to keep it to a certain level so I don't get shut down. A lot of people are like, oh, Mike, you're not being the man. You're not going forthright. You're not telling. I could be the man. Then I'm gone. My channel's gone if I be the man. Okay? So we got to keep it in a way where we're getting the message across and we are working as a team to input our information and knowledge, right? Exchange of knowledge is worth more than any treasure in the world if you know how to use the knowledge that's given to you, right? Remember what G.I. Joe used to say? And knowing is half the battle? All right, we got another article here. But hold on, I want to finish this one. The average Social Security check is $14,000 a year, hardly a cushy retirement. 23% of boomers ages 51 to 61 expect to receive income from private company pension plan, And 38% of older boomers expect a pension. 45% of boomers have zero savings for retirement. Holy Christ, this is phenomenal. That's a lot of people. We're talking maybe 108 million, okay, 90 million plus people. Well, not 90 million plus, I'm talking about 90 million plus boomers, I'm saying. Or maybe more, it could be 110 million boomers. People are living longer now, guys. And that's a lot of people, you know? All right, let's go back to that other article that was sent to me here. So if you guys want to do Mike in the Night, we could even do, you just send me articles you want me to cover. And if people want to call in and we could discuss them, that'll be an interesting Mike in the Night where we just talk about what's happening, and you guys could send in articles. Okay, Wolf Street. The stories behind business, finance, and money. Most splendid housing bubbles in Canada deflate further. Vancouver prices drop down 3.7% from peak from 10 months. Winnipeg plagues most since 1990. Quebec City flat for 6 years. So we covered this at the beginning of the show, guys. So here it is here. Vancouver Tiranet National Bank Price Index, San Francisco Case-Shiller Index. Here it is here as a percentage change from January 2002. There's the bubble. Look at the San Francisco housing bubbles down here. I wasn't kidding you guys when I told you guys what's happening so there's the big drop we saw in 2017 right here in Toronto. We saw a massive drop. Let me open this a bit bigger for you guys here. So you saw that massive drop right there. And prices kind of somewhat are stagnant right now. They're calling an increase. I don't know. We're going to have to wait 2 quarters. We're going to wait another quarter to see if there really is an increase. So that's that. Oh, wait, where were we? Washington Examiner. Okay, so they got the soda tax in Philadelphia. They got a soda tax that they put into law. More sales tax on sugary drinks. And that has cut back wow, is this lady crazy? Wow. Anyways, so yeah, so that was the deal with that. So that has cut back on obesity and all kinds of stuff. And the soda tax is a good thing and a bad thing, but you know what? People shouldn't be drinking soda anyway. Soda is such a 50s thing, the 1950s. It's like smoking. Smoking is a 50s, 60s thing. James Dean. Cigarette. Try and find a picture with James Dean without a cigarette. Watch this. James Dean. Try and find... Okay, well, there's some of them with him without a cigarette. Cigarette, no cigarette. He's smoking one. Smoking here, smoking there. Smoking here. Smoking here. Not smoking, not smoking. Smoking here. You can't see the cigarette in his hand in this one. Smoking there. You know, it's such a 50s thing. Smoking and soda beverages are just like 50s things. Let them go, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, UK home sales flatline. The guy is swearing left, right, and center, my lord. Who is? Who's swearing left and right? Yeah, guys, let's keep it PG in the comments. I don't want to get my channel shut down, please. Please, that's all I'm asking. Yeah, Johnny Parker saying the right thing. Live together, love and harmony. Life is too short. Life is too short, guys. We're here right now. Remember what I told you about being rich? A multi-millionaire? You're only going to wear one set of clothing at a time. You can't wear more than one set of clothing at a time. You could only wear one pair of shoes at a time. You could only be in one place at a time. So, being rich is... I'm going to be very frank with you. from a lot of multi-millionaires that I've met over my lifetime. It's not all that. It really isn't. A lot of people are very lonely, you know. Just enjoy everyone's company. Do something for your neighbor today. Go do something for your neighbor. Regardless if you hate them or whatever, just, you know what, just do something nice for your neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Tyler is saying Mark Manchin is awesome. Read his book, Sub D of Not Going and F and Everything is Fed. James West is saying it's all the same. We're rich or poor. We're all struggling, either with if it's our demons, if we're struggling with depression, if we're struggling with finances, if we're struggling with relationships, if we're struggling with work. There's always something. And I think we're starting to lose that as human beings, where we've lost the capacity to interject and talk with each other. And I think that's damaging. That's damaging a lot of us. Yeah, everyone's got to stop swearing, please. Yeah, Maritime's housing news. Let's see what we got going on here. I think someone sent me something yesterday. Yeah, Canadian home sales are up. I covered this the other day. If you want to see more about what's happening there, go to this video here, guys. Canadian, where is it? Uploads. Canadian Housing Wrap-Up. It's called Canadian Housing Wrap-Up for the week, and I cover all of Canada. All the way to Newfoundland, everywhere. I cover right here. Canadian Weekly Housing Wrap-Up, Vancouver to, I think, Halifax or Newfoundland. Very important, because Canadian housing looks like it's going up in sales only because people are moving to these ones. This is the one I brought up the other day. First annual increases since December 2017. Yeah, I covered this one. I covered 6 articles in that area. And it's going to continue going up because people are going to have to... okay, remember back 100,000 years ago where people as human beings, we always migrated to where it was comfortable? Whether a majority of the time when people migrated, let's say up to 1,000 years, up to like, let's say the last 100 years, people would migrate to warmer climates because it's more comfortable. Now people are migrating, now the technology is better and our housing is more efficient and blah, blah, blah. People are now migrating to more affordable areas because they puts them in a comfort zone. And that's what's been happening. So we are intermigrating now into different parts of our countries that we never thought. I would have never fathomed in a million years that I would live in the small town that I do. Never. Like when I was living down in Miami Beach, for example. When I was living in Miami, yeah, Mike, you're going to live in a small town with cowboys. It's a cowboy town. It's called Merritt. It's like 2 hours west of Vancouver, east of Vancouver. I'll be like, why? You just don't know where life's going to take you. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we got Martin in the house saying Nova Scotia is insane. People buying like crazy. I was over there 2 weeks ago and saw strange deals for 50-year-old house in Lower... Whoa, where did that go? Lower Sackville. Okay. Lower Sackville, 179,000. 179,000. Insane. Okay, we got people here. Interesting. Why is that even though property values have gone through the roof, these cities still have to rise property tax? No. If we go back to the graph I was reading, in Vancouver, they lower property taxes when property values go high, and they raise property taxes when properties go down, right? So they have a budget. Cities have a deficit. They have a budget. They got to pay for your police to pull you over. They got to pay for your doctors that take care of you. They got to pay for your mailman. They got to pay for all that stuff, right? Transit and all that stuff. And they have this budget, right? They have enough, they need to make X amount from the city to flip their bill. Now, when property prices go down, they're just going to have to raise property taxes to offset it to make that same money. But now governments are just giving away money to other countries and stuff, and it's becoming harder and harder and harder to get anywhere. How much for a Halifax condo? They start at about $55,000 and they go up to $110,000 depending on where in Halifax. And then, yeah, also money loses its value, which is true. I'm not sure. Time to reflect is saying, we should be taking them to court, then found guilty. You might learn something new. Comments are going nice and good here. More cranes building condos there than TO. Yeah, Toronto had a lot of condos going up. It was nuts. Anyways, guys, I'm approaching my hour and a half. And yeah, Tyler's putting up something here important in the comments saying that Toronto apparently has a $3 billion backlog in repairs. Okay, guys, I want to send a few shout outs to people that are watching me in, so I already did the Sweden, all that office that's watching me in Sweden. So I want to send a shout outs to all the people watching me in, where is this? In New Jersey. Okay. So this is in New Jersey. This is an office, a finance office that is financing that listens to me on replay audio only during work hours on Thursdays. They always play Trends in the Housing Market to see what I'm talking about, right? And so I want to send a shout out to that firm. So Astrid, Axel, Alfred, Leo, Vincent, Ellen, Alva, Clara, Averid, Harry, Walter, Isaac, Isabel, Vera, and Leah, and Melvin for watching. I really appreciate that, for listening to Trends in the Housing Market on replay. Anyways, guys, if you're just tuning in, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. This video will be up here under home. You go under home. I'm going to have the Trends in the Housing Market new episode up here for you guys. Sorry, right here on the Trends in the Housing Market carousel. You can watch older videos here of Trends in the Housing Market. We got a lot of call-ins last week and the week before. I wanted to kind of cut back a little bit on the call-ins tonight. I just wanted to keep it more one-on-one with the comments and opened a few articles. Maybe this Mike in the Night, we're going to do article night, where you just send your articles and we will just open them up and read them. Do not send anything that's, you know, bad and stuff that's going to get me in trouble, you know? Yeah, interesting stuff says, as Nova Scotia subsidizes foreign student tuition almost 40%, or is that, yeah, that's what I heard too. Yeah, lots of laundered money, 200 billion. Don't forget to check out that video, guys, here about 200 billion laundered. Right here, Canada needs money laundering. We've laundered right here, over 200 billion laundered across Canada in the last 5 years. That is phenomenal. That is unheard of. How is that even legal? Anyways, guys, I want to thank everyone once again for coming onto the show. It is 8:30 here. I'm going to put my kids to sleep. I want to thank everyone for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you guys really want to support this transmission and support what I'm doing here, I would like for you guys to share one of my videos. I don't care. Share anything. Go on my channel, share something. And yeah, Tyler, thanks for the comments. And Belinda, thanks. Interesting stuff. Good night. Good night, everybody. Cognitive Rue. Yeah, don't forget to check out Cognitive Rue's link there. And Supreme Cannons, good night. Supreme Cannon, Briggs, Low Roller Scratcher. Thanks, guys. I'll read any article, Bitcoin article, whatever article you guys want to throw at me. We'll do it all Mike in the Night. We'll keep it simple this Saturday. I want to keep it simple too. Maybe I'll drink some whiskey and rye. Maybe you guys could share a drink with me. You know what I'm saying? Steve the plumber talked to him last night. That guy's slammed. I spoke to Steve. Someone's asking where Steve the plumber is. He is slam damned. He is having he's working many hours. I talked to him last night for a good 30, 40 minutes, and he's really working hard. He's got a lot of jobs lined up, and he is very, very, very busy. He told me, but he's going to be coming out and visiting us here in the summer. So I'm going to be very interested to see this. Very interested to see him again. So, anyways, okay, guys, let me know in the comments below. Share a video, get this transmission out, and thanks for watching.